New York City, it's Modern Stitches Live with Ashley Scarborough. She's the girl about town, the girl about fashion, and the girl about hot topics. She's introducing us to all the latest trends in the fashion world, and she's giving us a sneak peek of all the behind the scenes. And guess what? We'll meet all of the latest and upcoming talent in the fashion world from this fabulous fashionista. Get ready because this is Modern Stitches Live.
Everybody really knows your story. Everybody knows you're one of the co-founders for Fubu. We have Jay Alexander Martin on here with us. And, you know, this is a different way that I'm starting off the interview, but it's a transition because we already kind of talked about what I want to talk about. So when this interview comes out, we're going to be already in 2021. But as of 2020, the new hot topic is Clubhouse. It's a Clubhouse app. It's an audio mobile application where people get on here and you talk about various conversations. And I was letting him know that I found him on a chat on the mobile app where it says, "Is New York Fashion Week dead?" So we're talking about this app, and I think it's really cool to have this conversation because it's I'm a newbie to the app. You know, I'm a rookie to the app, so I'm still figuring it out. But I found you on "Is New York Fashion Week dead?" So that is actually my number one question. We talked about how people are on here, they're not professionals, they've never done New York Fashion Week. What exactly could we like? Why do you feel like people have the opportunity to talk about these topics if they truly have not been a part of the fashion experience?
Well, I say it like this: it's been a graduation between of you know all the social medias. So right now we're in COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to kind of hear somebody interact with people. You really can't interact with them, you know, on any other platform besides this.
Right.
Because now you have people that you've never spoke with, you've never probably could be in a room with them, you've never seen in real life.
Right.
You know, you only watched them or heard about them or read about them, and now they're all in one place.
Right.
So
Exactly.
everyone is jockeying to be presented. Right? You have people that have never been in a setting, in a seminar setting. You have people pay to be in these rooms with all these people. So
Right.
now you're in a room with all these people, and you say if you are, you raise your hand, but you never get picked to ask those three questions.
Right.
So now you have to feel like you have the opportunity to get up there and speak. So you'll speak, but you haven't spoken in so long because you've been so accustomed to typing.
Right.
You've been so accustomed to just showing a picture of yourself,
Instagram.
and it could be false.
Right. Absolutely.
It could be made up. It could be fabricated. But
I
on
mean,
this
but you
app,
can say that about the conversation that people are having on this app too, though, because you know we can edit a picture, we can filter a picture, we can perfect the picture, but as soon as they get on the stage per se on the app, everything that they could say could be fabricated as well.
yes, and that's the thing that the app is really trying to figure out how to navigate, because they don't want, you know, layers. They don't want, you know, hierarchy. They don't want stature. They don't want people to be able to have, like, there's this thing where there was, before you came, there was this thing where an argument about having a ring around you, and that says that you are who you are, or you're this type of person, or you're sanctioned as to be someone to actually talk about things. But they just want actual people just to sit in the room and have conversations. But it kind of started with, you know, it started with people coming in, just exchanging ideas. Then it went to people coming in and explaining to you facts,
Right.
quote unquote, what they think is facts. Then it went to people taking those quote unquote facts and opening their own rooms and regurgitating what they think is facts. But the problem about this is, if I give you a test, right, and you get 100 on it, but then again, how did you get to that answer?
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
So
it's like an open book test, like, right. You know.
It's a fine line between who knows and who knows. Now you'll have some what they call moderators, and the moderators sometimes don't even know half the stuff that the people that are coming up on stage know. And they're using those people to substantiate or solidify them as them being a thought leader or being whatever. But then it all crashes when somebody like myself comes into the room and they are the be in all of their, so there is no such thing as opinion.
Right.
This is fact.
Right.
So people come up with their opinions, and on this and it becomes controversial, becomes not just a controversial, becomes a thought leader or people talking back and forth, and it kind of gets watered down to what the real answer is.
Right.
And those are the rooms that I'm in that I kind of don't appreciate and get pissed off about.
My question is, how do you even filter being in these rooms? Because when, you actually sign up for this mobile app, and I guess it filters the rooms according to who you follow and what rooms they're in. Because I'm just like, 1 minute I'm talking about fashion and the next minute they're asking me, we're talking about taxes. And I'm just like, well, how did I get here? Like, you know what I mean? So have you figured that out?
Yes, and that goes back to this. So a room, normally the title, and you try to stick to the title. But remember, a lot of these people are not moderators.
Right.
Like they're just people that just have the moderator badge.
Mm-hmm.
To moderate a room or moderate a talk or moderate a conference is a unique thing. So you have to know a little bit about the people that you're talking to. You have to know a little. Here you usually don't know anything about the people you're talking to, because you just meet them for the first time. And what you're really doing is being a police person just to get people to talk and go back, talk and go back, talk and go back, talk and go back.
Just passing the mic.
Right.
I wanted to know if you thought that, even though we've been in this room, do you think that the idea of New York Fashion Week is dead? Because people talked about that in this chat, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that solely.
Well, again, like I said, we were in that room, and I feel I can remember exactly what I said. I told them the reason why it was dead for me. And that's another thing. And that's what I try to do. I tell them based off of me and my experience. Because I can't talk about something I don't know. Right? That's just me and how I do things. So as far as I'm concerned, we did it twice and we stopped. The reason why we did it, and reason why to me it was dead, because initially it was at the tents and it made sense, but it didn't make sense in the long run because of the object of it is for hype. I'm already hyped. I don't need the hype.
Right.
I need sales.
Right.
So if it's not generating sales, all it is me putting out money.
Right.
I can get that same amount of hype doing something else for free. Right. So what happened was, when you have these people from outside coming in and sneaking in, or a friend of a friend of a friend that's in there, and my cousin, or my this or my that, or my my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my whatever, and they all sit in front row. The people that actually I need to be in front row to see that's going to get me sales, don't have a seat, so they leave.
Right.
So if there's not buyers in front, or people that's gonna really represent my bottom line, what am I doing it for? Why am I spending $500,000, $1 million for a show? For what?
A runway show, right?
I can do something else with that money.
Absolutely.
That's why it ended it for me.
Okay, so if for the general public, do you feel that same way about the way that they are hosting New York Fashion Week? Because to be quite honest, we've surpassed the idea of having face-to-face runway shows. These past 2 seasons, we haven't even been able to be face-to-face. So, I mean, truly, what exactly is the point of having these fashion shows? And to your point, almost anybody can get into Fashion Week now. People are duplicating passes. They're emailing passes to someone else, or they getting in from the back door. Is it worth it to actually physically show up and show pieces to the general public who are not in fact purchasing?
Well, see, initially it was set up where it was about buyers.
Right.
It was about,
and you had to be of a certain status to attend.
The press all stood up with the cameras. The writers would be in the audiences as well, and some of the other designers and some of the celebrities and people who actually have something to do with the business.
Right.
But when it got saturated to where everyone is high and I'm avant-garde and I'm this and I'm that, when they wanted all that pizzazz and all that fluff, that tainted it and turned it into a circus.
Hmm.
So then who are you and what are you doing here and what are you doing? So and then also I think what really turned it into a mess was social media,
I
because
was gonna
everyone
ask that.
feels that they're a what do you call it? A content
Influencer.
provider, and I'm a what's the other one that everyone uses?
The
I'm
influencer, a content curator. Yeah, those guys.
You know, so that like you have 5 followers, so it's like no, it's not doing anything for me. It's not doing anything for me.
Right. So you feel that was just my next question. Do you feel like celebrities and influencers have diluted the culture and the whole industry?
Not necessarily celebrities, because celebrities would really walk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but celebrities would bring their friends or they're this or their model. Like, you want pizzazz in the room.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the extras, because it's like this. How I explained it, I think I remember explaining something like, when you go to the Hammer show or the computer show or the furniture show, you're going to the furniture show. Those people, you're in that business.
Right.
So that's when the average person isn't going to the furniture show.
Right.
Now it turned into an everybody show, and everybody just to go, and everybody's whatever. So the people that really need, like I said, the people that really need to get something out of it are pushed aside.
Right. They're in the standing section, or they're not even invited.
Or they're invited, but it's like, I'm not going to that. I'll see you in the showroom.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. Because all people want to do is just get there to take a picture and say, look at me, I'm here.
I was here and that was it. Because if you don't take a picture, you weren't there. So do you feel like that streetwear has had the best influence on New York Fashion Week as a whole? You know, just the structure, the ideas, some of the collections. Do you feel like over the years, you know, all of this has had an influence on New York Fashion Week as a whole in each one of the collections?
Well, yeah, streetwear, that's a whole nother thing, because it kind of goes all the way back to the point when streetwear, as far as like the trade shows, were the biggest thing.
Right.
And
I still love trade shows.
The powers that be didn't like that, because we were pulling all of the energy and people would stop buying, you know, the other stuff. Right. So what they did was kind of slowly get us to slowly pull us out and pull us away, and our businesses slowly started deteriorating. Then it turned around and made streetwear skatewear. So now all the skate companies are quote unquote streetwear, and we're not even who we are. We're urban wear.
Right. That was my next point.
And that's how it kind of messed up. It's almost like, I make it seem, I'll say like this, like, let's say 50 Cent, right, would tell Ja Rule, why you singing on the record? And then turn around and go sing on the record. After you destroyed her.
Right. So really, streetwear has been the secret formula to all the rest of the collections that has followed.
To a lot of them, yes, because they all will have a streetwear look that they would steal from us and then put it into their line. And then with us, as far as consumers, as far as urban consumers, we're going to jump on anything and everything. We're not going to stay loyal to anything, but the only thing we're going to stay loyal to is a brand that's not ours.
Do you feel like after you learned of, I guess, streetwear and skateboard wear, I guess, borrowing from some of your concepts, do you feel like there was ever a point where you wanted to call it quits because of that?
You know what? I never wanted to call it quits, because it's just what I always wanted to do. At least as far as I know, when I wanted to do something. So it's just the business got, you know, turned around, or things got turned around. You know, I know business, so I know there's a natural bell curve to any business, goes up and goes down. I'm still in it. We're actually relaunching actually our website the 17th, December 17th, which is a few days.
Okay.
And
That's next
we're
week.
looking forward to our second collection. It's a half a collection, but our full-fledged new collection will be done in February. We launched in February. So we're looking to kind of get back out there.
So what can we look forward to on the website for 17th? Because you said it's just part of the collection. What are we going to get on that day?
A lot of loungewear, like lounge, sportswear, things like that, joggers, things like that. More like leisure wear, because of, everyone's at home. They don't have to dress unless real true fashion, person. I call it a fashion mind. You may call it a fashionista. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I never wanted to call a guy a fashionista because that's not right.
We call them fashionistas. No.
Fashionistas, and I didn't like that. That sound kind of corny.
We made that up.
So I called it a fashion mind. You have a fashion mind. So.
Yes, on Instagram. Got you. That's dope. So, like, okay, if we're coming out with our loungewear for the 17th, which is 2 days from now, what can we expect in February?
Well, in February, full-fledged, we're talking about jeans. We're talking about, full collection from, and I'm not only doing jeans. I'm just doing more like I said, joggers, things like that. Something just to kind of take the, for now, something to just kind of like a placeholder, just to, because to be honest, if you logistically, the jeans didn't work out because of Chinese New Year and getting that out there. So that's why we didn't do jeans right now.
So why now though? Like, why are you guys looking to relaunch your website now? It's so many 90s brands that were birthed that are, actually making their way more to the forefront right now. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I just always want to know, like, why is 2020, 2021 the time to relaunch something new and innovative from these brands that we've grown to know and love over the years?
Well, I mean, it's been a natural, maturation, a natural cycle, because we've been in overseas and it's doing very, very well.
Nice.
And then, of course, as you're doing overseas, you have to kind of get your U.S. market moving. The U.S. market moving. We was going to start it in January, but then this hit and it stopped and derailed everything that we were doing. So we kind of wanted to wait until it kind of subsides. So within now, I think next year things should start getting better. People should start being able to, especially with the cure, quote unquote.
Oh yeah, the vaccinations they're coming out with.
Vaccine, the quote. So people will start, at least hopefully, it'll start subsiding somewhat, and then we can start getting back out there.
Do you believe in the cancel culture? And what I say is, when something happens with a brand or something happens with a celebrity, people are saying like, well, we're going to cancel that person. You know what I mean? And over the years, there's so many streetwear brands that have launched. They've kind of borrowed again from some of your styles, some of your ideas in the past. Do you feel like, even though you're an older brand, if you were to see somebody create something similar to what you've done, would you cancel them? Because people are just like doing like, well, if this person does something, we're just canceling. We're not going to support them anymore. We're not going to buy their clothes. Is that something that you would do?
Well, I'm a businessman and I'm a label whore.
Okay.
So, I would never want someone to, quote unquote, cancel me. So I kind of put it in my pocket. I understand what could happen, what can happen, but
you consider it like inspiration.
Again, I consider it as sign, because listen, fashion is fashion. Everyone has their interpretation of what they do. And that's just what we do. We all interpret each other or interpret, something. You can't reinvent a shirt. A shirt is a shirt is a shirt is a shirt.
Right. Over and over again.
Sometimes it's just your brand name. Sometimes it's how you create it. But it's still a shirt, no matter what. So I can't cancel anyone in that way. Now, when I could say when that whole Gucci thing happened and then Prada thing happened and such, I would wear Prada and I would wear Gucci, but I kind of scaled myself back from actually buying anything else because I'm for us buyers and I'm for the culture, and I wanted to let them see that, listen, guys, you're not being
authentic.
Or not even authentic, you're not being what's we're looking for? Conscious who we are and what we're doing and how that affected us. And I wanted to show you that in my way, you know, by me not purchasing, that's not right. I think this generation, I mean, there's always been a boycott. There's always been someone that stood up for something. There's always been that type of situation. But I think this generation is taking things and starting and thinking like it started from them. Like for instance, I'm on Clubhouse, and back to Clubhouse again.
Back to Clubhouse.
But I'm on Clubhouse, and people are saying merch, or I'm making some merch, and I'm like, well, first of all, do you understand what in the business what merch means?
Right.
You know, so you can't take what merch means and turn it into something else and make it a slang word for what you're doing. Because if you're talking to someone that's in the business, it makes no sense. So you can't take something that is call it cancel culture because someone does something and say cancel them and call it that's bad, because in turn that's not necessarily bad. That's just I don't like that, and this is how I'm not going to do something. If someone like for hating, it's like cancel is nothing but hating. Supposedly what people say is hating, but I don't look at things hating. That's just your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion not to like something. That's not hating.
Right. Very true. Very true. It doesn't necessarily have to be canceled. It's just your personal opinion. I'm going to opt out of this, whatever it is that you're doing, but everybody else, they can have it, because that's also in the situation where people are saying, kind of like the whole Dapper Dan situation, you know, like how Gucci took his ideas of how he has custom crafted.
But it's not too, but see, now here we go. Here we go. How can Dapper Dan say that Gucci took his ideas when Gucci made their items and Dapper Dan took Gucci's IP / design fabric and created custom pieces for people?
Right. Well, I don't think that they're saying that he stole their designs. What he is saying is he took the fabric that they had and he created something totally different out of what they've already created. Sure. If anything, I personally think they should have some sort of
he did not. He didn't necessarily create anything different. What he created was whatever they asked for, right? A shirt, a jacket, a pair of pants that was big enough for them to fit. Because nothing fit them in that time, because it was totally, with European was totally European, and we were some big guys. I'm not actually a big guy, but they were some big guys.
Yeah.
And they could not fit that stuff. So they had to make it for them their size.
Not
so
only
they would say,
fit,
I want this.
customized.
They would say, I want this jacket that is a jacket that's already made, and I want this made with the Gucci print.
Well, that too, but then they also were asking for customizations, not just shirts, not just pants. They also wanted accessories. You had the bucket hats. You had all sorts of things.
But then again, a bucket hat was already made.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's where I found a parallel. Listen. I appreciate. I'm happy that he got. You know, he's in his position that he's in. He did get shut out of his business, but he got shut out of his business for a reason. See, the problem, it's almost like Free Pookie.
Right.
Free Pookie.
Right.
He just killed like 12 people. He just killed my dad, my mom, my everybody.
That's okay. We want Pookie freed anyway. No.
Right. So, but we still want Free Pookie.
We want Pookie freed anyway.
I represent his cause. It's no problem. I'm happy for that. But there's still a business. There's still a business to things.
Yeah, I see exactly.
I can't not sit here and listen to and talk about only the frills of it. I have to talk about the underlying business. I can't talk about the cap. I have to talk about the reason behind it. I can't just give you the answer to the test without giving you the reason how we got to the test, get to these answers. You follow me?
Because your point at the bottom line is, if there was no Gucci, if there was no Louis Vuitton to actually put out these prints, there would have never even been an opportunity for him to create these designs.
Correct.
That's it. That's the business element of it.
And this is not discrediting him, this is everything. Again, what I would suggest to him, if I sat down with him prior to this actual deal, this deal that he had, I would have suggested.
Right.
This is what you do. You go in and you have an in-store of in every Gucci shop called Dapper Dan, not Gucci.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dapper Dan, you need to be able to create a Dapper Dan line, not a Gucci line, because all you're doing is helping Gucci. And when your contract is over, that's it. What do I need you for? What do I want you for? Because if you don't have Gucci anymore.
Truth be told, would Gucci would have even accepted him at this time, given him his due diligence? Would they even given him his due diligence for what he created during that time if it were not for the culture, calling them out, the whole Black Lives Matter situation, Well,
no, he would have never, if that didn't happen, he would have never been, no, they would have been like, whatever. Because honestly, he got a cease and desist because it was legally that he was doing something illegal. Because you can't just take somebody's stuff and just do what you want with it.
Cut it up, sew it, and make it a shirt.
And then sell it, and then make all this money. And you like, well, where am I at?
Right. So is there something to be said about all of these, boutiques and these, these new streetwear designs that use wholesalers, for their items? Is that the same process? Is that the same business element that you're talking about, or are they cutting corners?
No, that's a whole nother different process. That is when you start. When you start out, a lot of people start out, using a wholesaler, starting it, cutting a tag, putting a graphic on, buying a dress, taking the tag off. There's a lot of retail stores that when you walk in the mall, they do the same thing.
Absolutely.
They do the same thing.
I haven't seen it, but I believe you.
There's a lot, and there's a lot of stores. If you walk in the mall, you look in the store, oh, this is nice. You walk into the store, you'll see a nice outfit. It doesn't have any names all over it, nothing. Just a nice outfit. And it'll say the name of the store. That tag is cut and re-sewn on. Or they'll get it with no tag.
Wow.
So this business is deep.
It is. It's very
Not a lot of people actually produce. And the people that produce, like I've done, now, like I said, I'm a licensing company, which everyone loves to be in the end, because now I just sit back, yes, no, I like. But the people I'm referring to, i.e. celebrities, are just spokespersons. They're spokespersons. That's a whole different element. So for you to give them the business about what they're doing, they don't have control over. They have influence, but they don't have control.
And that's the word right there. Everybody feels like because they're in an influence position that they have control. When in all actuality, there's a whole nother team who truly is in control. You're just plastering your face all over the ads. You're plastering your face on the commercials, and that is as far as it's gonna go.
Right. So they're giving you your own line, but it's not. It's your own line, I guess, in to the public. But in turn, you're just the face of that line because you're not doing the work, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But when the consumer comes in and they're talking, and when I'm talking in these rooms, they have this whole air about the conversation, air about what's going on. And like, for instance, I get in so many rooms and I'd be quiet about Virgil. This guy, Virgil, coming from, Off-White, and now he's this, the creative director, and oh, he's this, and he's that, and I don't understand. Oh, he's God. But he's a creative director.
Right.
So he's a Black man that became a creative director. That's great. Okay, woo.
Right.
That's great. But it's not his line.
Yeah. That's true.
So why are you giving him giving him the business and making him the story of every conversation? It's not like it's his line. He's just the creative director. So I give people, not to say I don't want to say, I don't want to level respect, but it's different ways to look at things. And the problem is everyone bundling it all in one. And it's not that way because they don't know the business.
Right.
They just
People
know.
they don't
Fashion.
know to take the
It's
time.
not called the fashion, it's called the fashion business.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get into these conversations, and that's why those are the people that are sitting front row thinking like they know what's going on, and they don't know jack what's going on.
And on Clubhouse, offering information, offering information that they truly aren't aware of.
Right.
And you're
that they
absolutely
read
right.
in a magazine that they think that it's what it is.
Absolutely. So what advice would you give to someone who is trying to start their own fashion line and actually be the person behind the business of fashion? What steps do they need to take to get 25 years later and still have this type of legacy?
Start by learning. People don't want to learn anything. They want to jump, they want to skip steps.
Mm-hmm.
They want to jump to the head of the line because they've seen somebody else do it.
So basically, research your craft. Research exactly what you need.
Learn everything, and don't learn the faults. Like all people want to hear is the end.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to learn. They don't want to understand the process. They don't want to take the time to grab a shirt, put a logo on it, cut a tag, sew it back on, grow your business. You know, they don't want to do that. And that's the problem. And the people are getting into business for the wrong reasons.
Right.
Some people aren't entrepreneurs. My book that I have, Building an Empire, it teaches you the concept of your mind. Your mind has to be a certain way. You have to think a certain way to be an entrepreneur. And none of
we talked about that before, which is interesting. We talked previously, and you were talking about how, the military somewhat influenced you to get to a place of greatness and always expecting excellence. Talk about that version of yourself.
Well, I mean, like that version is it's as simple as this. In the military, you learn to pay attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
That's great for business because you pay attention to every detail, right? 2, they teach you, being that the reason why you have to pay attention to detail is because if you don't, people die. There is no, oh, he only got hurt.
Right.
Luckily, he only got hurt.
Right.
Or he lost a limb.
Mm-hmm.
But you mess up, people die.
Right.
And that's how I look at everything. If I mess up, people die. But if you look at business, if you mess up, people can die because your business closes, because you're not looking at the bottom line. And when you're in charge of a business, you're in charge of the budget, and you're in charge of money, and you're in charge of people that are actually working for you. And those people that work for you have homes. And those people that have homes have kids. Those people that have kids have animals. Those people that have animals, or people that have animals have cousins, have family. You know what I mean? It goes on and on and on.
It's a ripple effect.
It's a ripple effect. So you're responsible for all of that. So in turn, you mess up, people die.
Right. But that's a lot of pressure too. That's just a lot of pressure. But don't sign up for the gig if you don't want to be an entrepreneur.
Exactly. But they don't look at that. They look at, I hear that entrepreneurship is the shit, or we need to do our own, and everybody just jumps into it.
Right.
But then you're in business 2 hours.
Right.
2 days.
Right.
3 weeks. But then you're going to get on Clubhouse or get in these forums and try to tell me what I'm doing wrong or what I am.
Or what you should be doing. Because it's a new era.
Right, because social media, what social media has done is made everybody a critic. It's made everybody, give everybody a voice.
Gave everybody a platform.
But sometimes you're not qualified to have a voice. But then if somebody speaks out and tells you and says that, then all of a sudden they're hating or they're canceling.
I was going to say, back to the cancel culture.
That's where it goes back to the cancel part. And that's the problem.
But it's like, it's a vicious cycle. And it's like a wheel that just turns, and one thing that leads to another, and it leads to our destruction. And we're at a point where we're like, how do we get out of this? How do we get out of this constant circle that's just going? And it's just like, we're not elevating. You know what I mean? Just like you're describing.
I can't be the only one. I'm 28 years in business. What other urban brand is 28 years in business?
Right.
Name one.
You're absolutely right.
Name one.
We got to figure out we have to figure out how to build our brands with logical businesses, with the street smarts and the business smarts, and just having the mentorship. I think that's what it comes down to as well. Mentorship.
Well, no, and I'm going to fight you on that. I'm not against mentorship, but I feel like mentorship is a crutch to people that don't know how to deal with mentorship.
Okay.
Reasons. Here's my analogy. I never had a mentor, right? So what a mentor is going to do is take you on a lane in which they went.
Okay.
Right? 9.5 times 10 by 10, right? But if I'm traveling a road that hasn't been traveled at all, how could I have a mentor?
Everybody's journey is unique. However,
everybody's journey is unique. So,
however, I will
somebody
say,
tell me what's going to happen when I'm going a whole nother way.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're looking to start a fashion brand, someone would use you as a mentor. Because
100%. I'm just telling you my situation.
Okay. I'm not saying,
I understand people coming to me wanting me to be their mentor.
Okay.
But I'm just telling you how. But I say that to them to push something. Forget about mentorship, to push drive, because to me, drive supersedes mentorship. It supersedes all that. Because my analogy I always use with the slingshot. Going through all these problems gets you to learn things, and it gets you situated and ready for when your success. So the further you go back, the further you go forward, because the more you'll learn. And a lot of times things don't happen, not because it's just because you ain't ready for it.
Right. And I believe that you have to be prepared for the word no. You have to be prepared for setbacks, because the thing about it is, if you are looking to be an entrepreneur, you're looking to create anything, you have to understand it's just not going to be handed to you just because, to your point, just because you have a mentor, because my mentor said so.
Because you'll sit there with what I hear so much of, people with this positive attitude shit. That's great. You got a positive attitude. No, seriously, I'm sorry.
No positivity.
Right?
Okay.
No, I don't. There's nothing wrong with having positivity. I'm not necessarily saying no, but what I am saying is you can be positive to your purple. If you're 5'1" and your goal is to be a center on the New York Knicks, it's not gonna happen. If your goal is to be a singer, right? Because you think you sound good in the shower,
right?
And it's not gonna happen.
Right. Absolutely.
And you get out there, you can't really sing. It sounds great in the shower with the acoustics, but you can't really sing. So you're not gonna be a singer. So I just think people need to get their mind right and stop looking at what people are successful at. Stop looking at someone and calling them a mentor and going, "Oh wow, you're successful at." That was their time, and that's what they did. Yes. But
so are you saying that if someone were to get the proper training in said field, whether they want to be a singer, if they want to be an actor, if they get the proper training, they're still not going to be qualified? They shouldn't look towards being successful in that lane?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
They should. I just think there's a process to it all. The first thing somebody does, where people are told to do, is, "Oh, you want to start something? Go get a mentor." But the problem is you haven't done all the work to need a mentor. If I turned around and you said, "I want to start a business," and I gave you $1 billion, go start your business, you wouldn't know what to do with the money. So the structure is wrong.
Okay.
The structure is wrong. And the first thing somebody yells out is mentor. And that's not right.
So the first thing you need, you're saying the first mentorship is fine. It's just not the first step.
It's not the first step.
Okay. Mentorship, is nothing wrong with having a mentor, but you need to take the first step to study your craft.
But I wouldn't even call it a mentor.
Okay.
I would, because if I'm in the same space as you, and we're both doing the same thing, we're just talking. We're just two businessmen talking. We're just two businesswomen talking.
Okay. I see what you mean.
We're exchanging ideas.
I see what you mean. I definitely.
Now you're you're talking to them in a different space.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay. I can
I
definitely
know it
understand that.
sounds weird, and I know it sounds out of the box.
No, no,
Again, I
I'm
talk about it in my
definitely.
book.
I'm
I
not in
think
the
it's out of
cancel
a box.
culture. I'm listening to your opinion.
Right,
I'm
right,
listening.
right. And again,
Definitely.
I take what I say with a grain of salt and sprinkle it into your life.
Well, obviously, you definitely have enough of an opinion to last this long and to create something so legendary. So, I'm here in the background. I'm just like, well, he got something to say, so I'm gonna listen anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? You talked to me about how like you have amazing things coming up, some new things since the last time we spoke. Tell me about that. I know we talked about television, so tell me about what's going on.
Okay, so television, I'm in negotiation with Discovery, joint venture, for one of our shows. Now I'm in discussion with a very well-known person in the industry that has done very, very well to become on to be the president of my network. Um, a lot of things are doing well. Hotels are doing well. Well, at least the concept of our hotels are doing well. We're waiting to kind of close the deals because of COVID. Once COVID is running and we're back, we could open up. Um, the radio division is doing very well still. What else? Again, like I told you earlier, we're relaunching the website along with a new collection, at least a half capsule of a collection, December 17th. But of course, you're going to add this a little later, but so it'll already moving.
Right.
What else?
That's a lot already. You've named like 6 things. you know, you guys have been busy.
Yeah. I mean, we stay busy. We stay busy.
And that's the misconception because people don't always see you on the forefront. But to know you and to have conversations with you is so much going on. And I think as a culture, we just appreciate it so much. And I think that you guys don't always get your flowers for what you've created over the years and your expertise when it comes to fashion and streetwear. And that's why I'm so pressed to have a conversation with you. So which one are you most excited about? I know that your hand has been in a lot of pots, but which one are you so thrilled about?
I'm not prejudiced to any of it. I always look at all the same because I'm like one of those guys. I guess I've learned now. It's a trait of a Capricorn per se. So I just keep going. I'm not a goal person.
Are you a December or January Capricorn?
I'm January Capricorn, January 12th.
January. All right.
So I'm a vision person. So I think, and I just keep going. I'm not a goal person, so the threshold never stops. I never get to the finish line because I'm always going. So I never look at it like, wow, look, I just did that because it's never done.
So you don't celebrate the small wins.
So I don't celebrate. Yeah, I just keep going. No.
Okay.
Now, and that's not good for everybody. Some people need that. Some people need the goal. Some people need to celebrate the little wins. Some people need that to keep going. I don't necessarily need that. I'm just a different kind of being.
And you've been going for a long time. So I'm just wondering to myself, like, when do you feel like you want to retire? When do you think?
What's that mean?
So no. Okay, got you. So never, right? Yeah. Never. Okay.
Like my second book, I wrote it during COVID. I'm gonna write. As soon as COVID's over, I'm gonna write my third book. Because people are gonna need it. After
on
COVID.
Clubhouse.
Yeah.
They're gonna need it on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm grateful. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to do this again for me. And I'm gonna chit chat with you later. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.